Hi, and welcome to this tutorial introduction on how to make a Python version of the game Wordle. You might be asking, what is Wordle? If you are, you probably aren't here, so you probably aren't asking that. However, you're here, and maybe you've been forced to watch this. I don't know. Anyway, Wordle is a game that's been an internet sensation for I don't know how long, probably 6 months to a year, maybe more. I don't know. I'm certainly not up on the latest internet trends. However, it found its way into my social media sphere, and I saw that my friends were playing it, so I investigated it, started playing it myself, and it's just a fun word guessing game. So we are presented with a screen such as the one shown here, and you are given nothing, no clues. All you know is that you're going to guess a 5-letter word. And so if you were to type in a guess, you'll see what letters appear in the word and which ones don't. For instance, the yellow shading tells me that the letter U appears in the word I'm trying to guess, but because it's yellow, it means it's not in the correct location. So I could try a different word. Okay, now the U is in the right place. The N and the K I newly guessed, and they're in the right place. And so the T and the R are not in the word, but I know that it's some word that ends in U and K because the green shading means that my letters are now correctly placed. So if we tried, let's try, and we correctly guessed the word, yay. So I knew that it couldn't be another word like spunk or something like that because the S and the P up here were grayed out, meaning those letters don't appear in the word. So anyway, this game is slightly amusing, and you can, the part of the appeal is that you can then take your game and share your score. So in this case, I got it in 3 guesses, and I can share that score online, and I can compare it to my friends and discover how much dumber than them I am. And so that's a lot of fun. Everyone likes to know that kind of information. So I have decided, though, that the logic involved in guessing a 5-letter word and painting the letters gray or yellow or green based on if they're in the correct location was a perfect thing to use for Python, and has lots of interesting Python applications that one could learn along the way. So I endeavored to make my own Python version of this game. And to introduce you now to the game that I've made, I will blow it up here. So over some time, I've created a couple of different versions and a couple of other things that take all the fun out of the game, if that's the kind of thing you're into. But if you say Python PyWordle.py, you play, now you can do the same thing. You guess a 5-letter word. So what did we guess over here? We guessed pious. Let's try that one. Okay, so this tells us that the O and the S are in the word we're trying to guess, but they are not in the correct places, and P and I and U are not in the word, and so they are, we don't have to worry about them. Now, a lot of people have their own Wordle strategies. Some people want to only continue guessing words that have the O and the S in them, and so on. Some people want to blast out as many letters as possible to give them all the ammunition they need to create the correct word. So for instance, another word you might try next would be trade, which has completely different letters. But now you can see, oh, okay, I got 2 new letters, and they're both in the right place. So I have a T and an A, they're in the right place. I know that there's an O and an S in the word. And so I'm going to guess another word now. Toast. You got it in 3 guesses. The word was toast. I'm on a roll today. It's almost as if I knew that that was going to be the word. So that's the power of programming, is that I can make this the word when I want it to be the word. and leave nothing to chance. So this is the first incantation of the PyWordle game. I've also worked on a slightly more advanced one, so I will show you how that looks as well. PyWordle _ Ultra. Okay. And so this one pops up in its own little window. It has its own little keyboard here. It doesn't have clickability yet. You still have to type the words. But this version now will show you which letters you've used so that you don't have to keep track of mentally of yourself of which letters you've already guessed. So if we were to blurt out a guess, all right, we see that T is at the end of the word. We can go with we can go with Chuck. All right, nothing there. That was a dumb guess because we already knew that the U is wrong. But that's okay. So we can guess all sorts of words. And in fact, why don't we just throw if I could type. I win, the word was toast. I got it in 3 guesses. Again, it's like as if I knew that that was going to be the word. It's amazing. So this has been my introduction to the Python Wordle game that I've created, and of course just Wordle in general if you've never been introduced to it before. One final thing that I would like to show you is just a word guessing algorithm that I made. So Python Wordle search. And so here's an algorithm that has aggregated a list of all the 5-letter words that exist in English, and you can refine your guesses so that you don't make stupid guesses, which is when you're early in the game, you're prone to make a bunch of guesses that are not very good. So what you need to do though is you start it and you guess a word. So in this case, we could just say pious, right? So we're gonna try to figure out that the word is chunk. P-I-O-U-S. Then it's going to ask you, is P in the word? And just say no. Is I in the word? No. Is O in the word? No. Is U in the word? Yes. Is U in the right place? No. Is S in the word? And S was not in the word, right? Yeah. Okay, no. All right, so now it has shot out at me this list of words that it might still be. So there's still quite a bit. And what was our second guess? Our second guess was trunk. So let's assume that we guessed trunk next. Is T in the word? No, no. Yes and yes. Is N in the word? Yes and yes. Is K in the word? Yes and yes. All right, well now, there's only 4 words it could be. Chunk, flunk, blunk, which I did not know was a word, and clunk. And so we'll just guess chunk, which now we're done. Is C in the word? Yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So now it knows that we've won. It's relating. What's our? I don't know. These are just something I had it print out, but these were all quote unquote bad letters. So all of this is possible by creating algorithms that can analyze words, analyze letters, compare the letter positioning and whatnot, and all that's available in Python. So if you enjoyed this, I hope you'll stick around and look forward to a Python tutorial series where I can teach you how to make a game and a word finder just like this. Thank you for watching.